once again, dear survivors, we are coming to you once again across the airwaves from America and the United Kingdom. What a glorious world we live in. A world with no ends and no beginnings, unless you ask certain people. And one of those people joins me today. Hello, Tater.
Hello, Rexy. I am happy to be here and get started.
Oh, it's a good day. It's a good day to be alive.
You like my growl there? It's very telling for our world today. Yeah, very good.
And as I said, it's a good day for anyone who's alive, which brings us to our topic for the day. However, first, small talk. How are you?
I'm very, very tired, but we can do this. Insomnia.
Oh, what a wonderful world.
But we all know that I always come to an episode with a problem, so this is just today's problem.
And I just come to an episode with psychosis. So there you go.
ADHD. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with our world for today. We have a really good one for you. It's again a little bit out there, but we're gonna have some fun with it, I have to say.
Do you know what? This one's out there, but it's not as out there as some of our previous out there's.
Yes,
We've had some out there's.
Is it not? It feels kind of out there.
I don't think so. No, I feel like this is a little more down to earth than some of our previous ones. I think this one is pretty standard. Let's get into it. Yes, everyone can understand without a lot of exposition going into it. So, Tater, by all means, lead the way.
Today's world that we're going to be exploring today is a world in which birds return to their prehistoric roots. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they are reverting back to their prehistoric mentalities and roots. So, every classic bird in our modern day behaves like a dinosaur. Let me say that again.
Yes.
Birds behave like a dinosaur. Is that not terrifying in concept?
I mean, some people have ornithophobia, which already makes them scared of birds. I reckon that ornithophobia is going to go up by at least 75%.
I mean, currently, I am not scared of birds. I have an intense fear of things that come at me from below my knee. So chickens automatically fall into that category. So it's not the chicken being a chicken, it's the chicken being small that scares me.
I tell you, I've never really had a problem with birds either. Like, I like birds. Birds are nice and they make lovely songs that we all know that the songs are about them having sex with one another, but that's bar the bar.
Clearly you have never worked on a farm with the rooster. I mean, let's just be honest, those things are mean.
What else is the rooster doing other than saying, "Here I am, have sex with me"?
It's trying to murder you. Roosters are mean. They have spurs and they come and stab you with them.
Yeah, so they're sexually aggressive is what you're saying.
Not to humans. It's to the humans, it's just like, hey, I want to murder you. So roosters have already been prehistoric since the beginning, so that nothing changes there.
The only problem I have with birds, and it doesn't happen very regularly, but it is just the occasional pigeon that has decided that it's going to kamikaze pilot its way straight for my face.
Does that happen often? How many pigeons have you pissed off? Okay.
I grew up around central London. This is a very common occurrence.
Really?
Yes. Okay, so let us start. Let us start with the delicate, gentle dove, in fact. The gentle dove is a bird of flight. The dove is beautiful. It's white. It flies. 'Tis a symbol of peace. Now, what if it thought it was a pterodactyl? Just see the cogs. I can literally see the cogs in Tater's head rolling.
I'm just imagining the scene, and it's actually quite atrocious. It's actually quite glorious when you think about the bird itself, but when you think about the poor human that the pterodactyl is going after. So I want to be very clear for our audience here, survivors. We're not talking about birds turning into dinosaurs. No. It's all in their heads. The birds mentally believe that they are back into their dinosaur roots. So some birds will think that they're pterodactyls, some will think they're velociraptors. It varies on what kind of bird we're looking at here. But each of them thinks it is a dinosaur.
Your common barnyard chicken now genuinely thinks it is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It has developed small dog syndrome, or otherwise known as small chicken syndrome.
I think this brings to light the question, would you rather face one dinosaur-sized chicken or 100 chicken-sized dinosaurs? Isn't that like a common modern question?
This is one of those questions that gets thrown about, not necessarily in those words, but it's normally a chicken-sized horse and horse-sized chickens for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh.
But
I thought it was dinosaurs. Maybe I'm wrong.
I've never heard the dinosaur, but again, that just might be the difference between the two sides of the pond.
I doubt it. I am not the best reference for modern colloquialisms for American speech. I'm not.
Survivors, do tell us what is your version of the horse-sized chicken or variant thereof.
Regardless, let's go ahead and break down our world, because whenever we start in our podcast, because we are the experts, we know what we're talking about, we always like to break it down into its smallest base form. So we break it down into rules of survival. And rule number 1, say it with me.
The only rule.
Say it with me.
I will say it with you.
Enemy.
Know thy enemy.
Know thy enemy. That is rule number 1. And we always have to break down the
1.
world and its rules. Understand the rules of the world and you have a better chance of surviving. Any apocalypse that we run into, that's going to be rule number 1. So for this world, let's break down those rules and kind of understand. We already broke down 1, that birds think they're dinosaurs. I don't know how we're going to observe that in actuality. I don't know how you recognize that in the wild. You know, if this happens, I don't know how to recognize. I think it would just be, hey, that's a mean-ass bird. But
I think initially, yes, that's going to be, damn, that's a mean-ass bird. However, when you start getting into larger types of birds, I think the death toll could be quite significant with this one.
Absolutely.
Right off the bat.
This would be devastating to the ecological and environmental, this will be devastating. But how would humans recognize, hey, that ostrich thinks it's a dinosaur, Like, I would just be like, hey, that ostrich wants to kill me. Like, that's the only thought that would come to mind.
Okay, so my immediate thought on this is that for the most part, when we talk about the evolution of dinosaurs into birds, we generally talk about bipedal dinosaurs. Like, not a lot of the quadrupedal ones, like your Stegosaurus, your Triceratops, your Brachiosaurus, all the lovely ones that ate, green things and just waddled about because they were so fat. That's all they could do was waddle about. No, the ones that would have evolved into birds are the ones that were carnivorous. So I reckon our telltale sign that birds have gone full dinosauric in their brain is the fact that chickens are suddenly eating the McNuggets.
The nuggets are eating the McNuggets?
Yeah.
I love
reckon
it.
Full-blown cannibalism starts to happen. I
God.
reckon. So, yeah, we would notice a huge increase in cannibalistic behaviors happening in certain species, but you would also have species of birds that are intrinsically herbivorous. Like, let's say the gentle macaw. If they stop enjoying the delicacy that is, the berry or the honey nut stick, that you can buy for your lovely Norwegian blue in its cage, in its aviary, whatever. If it suddenly decides it's had enough of that and has developed a taste for human flesh, I think you will know about it.
As far as identifying them as dinosaurs, I think it's not going to be so much the carnivorous nature. I think it'll be their flocking behavior and their actual exhibited interaction and social behavior. So
what you're saying is that when you get a group of swans that are hunting you down as a pack so that you can turn around and go, clever girl.
Yes, exactly. I think the velociraptors of the bird species will be the most identifiable, honestly. Whatever birds think that they're a velociraptor, that'll be the most identifiable for us to say, oh, I get it. I've seen this scene. I know how to handle this.
Let's not forget, we do have an iconic movie. And no, people, I am not talking about Jurassic Park, even though that is an iconic movie. No, I'm talking more specific and more iconic than that. I'm talking about Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, which, fair enough, the birds did not think that they were dinosaurs, but that just proves what, abundance in numbers can possibly do.
I don't think it takes a lot of effort. I think birds have just been harboring a grudge from the get-go, and this was just their opportunity to go wild.
Maybe Alfred Hitchcock gave them the idea. Maybe we can blame this all on him.
Okay, so our apocalyptic world, ladies and gentlemen, Alfred Hitchcock becomes bird god and spreads, and spreads gospel of dinosaurism to all birds.
That is exactly... I don't know how I feel about this now. I went down a tangent and I didn't know it was going to become canon.
That is why his followers are called a flock.
And here we were going to call this episode Jurassic Cluck, and now I feel like I don't know where to go with my title cards.
Regardless, I think we have kind of a good idea of our world is just observing bird behavior, recognizing that it is central to birds, identifying the different types of birds and how they behave. This is all going to be pivotal because I don't know about you, but I'm not super well versed on all the different types of dinosaurs. So being able to identify what different dinosaurs each bird is not going to be helpful. I think identifying how each bird reacts and behaves, that is going to be important.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I am a bona fide dinosaur expert. I do know my dinosaurs. I know them so well.
We're not allowed to be experts on this podcast here, Rexy. Oh,
exactly. Like I am such the expert.
You are the Normalosaurus Rex. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I am the Normalosaurus Rex.
All right. Okay.
So there you go.
Continue speaking. I acquiesce.
So I feel like aficionados like myself would probably be able to pick this up quite quickly. Yeah, we would be able to notice, the predatory glance in a magpie's eye that wasn't there before. However, I feel like we are a small and potentially insignificant number, even with our paleontologist brothers and sisters on board. I feel like this is a problem that even if we shouted with our loudest voices, we would not be taken seriously until it's too late.
I would agree, but that's true of any apocalypse. There's always one small faction that was like, we warned you, and everyone else is like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I think especially because quite a lot of the experts I would also pull into this are going to be children under the age of 5 who absolutely love dinosaurs and know everything about dinosaurs.
So we understand that identifying the world around us, know thy enemy. We do want to recognize that birds are carnivorous and dangerous. That's kind of a given. We will understand that the first time we're attacked by birds. That is understandable. Yes. Now, the understanding of the larger impact is going to be very important here because we're not only looking at individual danger, we're not only ourselves in danger, but we're looking at mass casualties. We're looking at ecological difficulties. All birds turning into carnivorous beasts that don't really care about insects anymore. They only care about eating large animals or humans. We're looking at A, the loss of large animals and humans, and we're looking at B, a complete upheaval of the food chain itself. We're looking at large overpopulation of bugs and insects that are no longer controlled by birds. We're looking at impacts towards what are the most accessible creatures for birds to attack. So it would be kind of a food chain disruption as well.
Absolute overhaul, yeah.
Then we've got, infrastructure. Birds would probably be like, hey, look, a power line. Let's all cluster onto this power line and wait for this human to leave their building. Power lines
Which
would
they
go
already
down.
do.
Concrete buildings would not be sufficient. Birds would be damaging buildings and power lines and any type of kind of societal structure that we have built at this point.
I will say that my immediate concern goes out to certain areas of the world with larger birds already in existence.
Oh my God,
not
Australia
necessarily
is
the numbers. No, I'm going to say not necessarily the numbers, although numbers are a considerable factor to take into account during this apocalyptic scenario. But let's take, for example, as you said earlier, the ostrich in Africa and every zoo around the globe. Let's take, for example, the known arsehole of the bird world, the cassowary.
I'm unfamiliar with it. Is that
are you
giant seagull? I can't remember.
No, I tell you what, I will find you a picture of a cassowary, and you tell me what you think. I completely spelt that wrong.
I mean, while you're looking for that, behaviorally, large birds are known to display raptor-like qualities that were intrinsic to behavior of dinosaurs. So things like pinning the prey down, that was an example of some of the dangers of them. But also pack hunting has been necessarily intrinsic to dinosaur behavior and is a tactic that raptors could very easily replicate. Flocks are basically a version of packs.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop. Why is it that I am quiet all day and then, oh, that's you.
Yeah, that's me. I'm sorry I'm your friend and I send you
I had a moment. I'm okay now.
Okay, so the second picture I've sent you is the picture of the cassowary.
Oh, that definitely.
My apologies.
It looks like a dinosaur.
Oh my god, it's enormous. Like, it's big and it has like it loves to kick people and try and gouge out their stomachs. Like, it is a bird on an agenda. It's already a dinosaur, basically. The second picture I've sent you is a size chart which demonstrates these particular birds in terms of their size. So the cassowary currently stands at almost 4 meters. Yeah. I do apologize. They are not 4 meters. They are not 4 meters tall. That is their common ancestor that was 4 meters tall. So I will, before people get very angry at me, it's not 4 meters tall. I thought that sounded wrong when I said it.
I mean, but they're flightless. They're flightless, right?
They're flightless.
Yeah, they're tall, but they're flightless, and I doubt that they could swim very well. So here's the thing: cassowary. That's Australian.
I can't remember if that's Australia and New Guinea. It says here.
Okay, so if they're found on Australia is surrounded by water. It is an island continent, so we wouldn't really have to worry about worldwide domination of the cassowary because it would just be devastating to Australia, which Australia historically has had emu wars. Like, they know what they're doing. They've got this hip.
What do you mean they know what they do? They had an emu war and they lost. The humans lost the emu war.
But second try's the charm, right? Like, they learned a lot from that war.
I don't know if I believe you.
Australia has large versions of everything. I think they can figure it out. I don't really know how else to say it, but Australia, you're on your own, because my thought is flying, planes.
My thoughts exactly, yeah. I will also, I've just sent you, this is the sound a kiwi makes. I just need you, I need you to hear this. Listeners, we will put this in the
will we? Are we just, come on!
Yes, we will.
Rexy, I have so much work to do on this episode anyways. Oh, okay, here we go.
Alright, just listen. Tell me this isn't horrifying already.
That's a big noise for a little animal, I have to say.
Isn't it? Tell me that thing is not horrifying in the dark.
I have no doubt that birds could scare the crap out of us because some birds do have mimicry abilities. You know, you've got your standard ravens, or is it crows? I can't remember which.
Oh my god. No, do you know what? Even forget about corvids, because they can mimic stuff. The mimer bird? Oh my god, that thing can replicate a chainsaw. Do you realize how horrifying that's going to be if that comes at you, making the noise of a chainsaw?
Regardless, I think we have an understanding that, like I was saying, like flying would be intensely dangerous because planes would be... Are you sending me more stuff?
I'm not. No, that's not me this time.
Oh, I'm just really popular this morning, which is weird because I have no friends. Anyways.
No, me neither.
So I think we have a good understanding of the rules of our world at this point. I think we understand, what we're facing. We know thy enemy. So now let's kind
We
of
know thy
launch
enemy.
into our survival tactics of this. How would one survive? And I'm gonna early on say that our what's our standard rules for survival?
Resist, comply, or die.
I don't necessarily think those are super applicable.
But you can resist by, like, you can actively go out and hunt these. That is your resist.
Okay, so there's resist or die in this.
Yeah.
Resist or die are going to be our options.
Comply is not really a thing unless you're...
I'm going to propose that in this specific apocalypse, it's not resist, comply, or die. I think it's going to be resist, adapt, or die.
Agreed.
So resist would be active resistance. We are fighting against these birds. We are going to take down every bird in existence. That is resist.
Yes.
In die, that's the classic, you know what? If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down in style. I'm going to go find myself an ostrich.
I'm going to ride this ostrich before it.
I'm going to ride this ostrich to death. Oh, that sounded really bad.
Wow.
We're going to get rid of that. But anyways, so my proposal is adapt as an alteration to comply. So comply is usually in our sentient beings takeover situations where we have a new world order that we have to comply to. In this, I think that we don't really have any rules to comply to set by the birds. We have to adapt to the circumstances, and I think that's going to be our best bet. Direct confrontation with the birds, I don't think it's going to result well. Like we said before, the Australians lost a battle to emus that were not prehistorically based. They were just
the war on emus was not a success for humankind, and we will all remember those fallen.
The adaptation is going to be, okay, the birds have restored to their prehistoric roots. Let's mimic prehistoric roots ourselves.
Oh, okay.
So you have carnivorous dinosaurs were preying on the herbivorous, if that is a word. So herbivorous dinosaurs did have their own adaptational reactions to protect themselves in these circumstances, which majority of it was traveling in a pack, right?
A herd would be the correct terminology.
Oh, a herd.
Yeah.
So I think humans need to become herd animals by nature.
Okay.
So all of you introverts, I'm so sorry, but your best opportunity is really going to be to join a herd of humans and live in that nature, because that is going to be mimicking what the herbivorous dinosaurs were able to do to try and survive. It is not foolproof. There will still be death, but I think it will minimize drastically the risk associated with survival here.
Yeah, there is safety in numbers, but you also draw attention to yourselves in numbers. I personally feel that one survivor on their own does stand a good chance if they are a stealthy individual. Like, if they're a tiny individual, if they're a quiet individual. I personally feel that one individual on their own might be able to see this through to the bitter end. Now, if you're going around with a partner, or if you're in a throuple, hell, even a quadruple, I would say that is too many for one and too few for a herd. I think if you're in a herd, you are looking at least 15 people.
I would agree with that. I would agree. For humans, at least. Humans are small and fleshy, so we would be at risk and we need more
I feel like a group
protection.
of 5 is making enough noise that it's drawing attention to itself without having the benefit of protection by numbers.
I think a second option would be protection. Like I said, humans are fleshy, and thus that is one of our risks. So I think that we would have to craft suits out of cushioning and things that would be protectant against basically outside creature. Beekeeper outfits would probably be excellent in these circumstances, but things that would be protecting all orifices would be very important. Things that would protect all things that protect all sources of skin is going to be beneficial, and anything that would protect from access. Beaks are sharp, so it needs to be durable as well.
It's not just beaks.
So I'm thinking
not just beaks, it's claws.
Shields will be very beneficial, and suits made out of a protective cloth of some type or protective source, some type of exoskeleton for humans is going to be very beneficial for us.
Crocodile skin will become the new... I hate to say this because I love crocodiles and I hate the use of crocodile skin, but I personally feel that crocodile skin is going to be the latest in self-safety.
Or just a pet crocodile.
Why would just a pet crocodile... You do... Okay, first of all, there are birds that eat out of crocodiles' mouths. Like, that is their job. That is their role in life, is to eat.
But imagine, like, I see your flock of seagulls and I raise you one crocodile. Fetch. I don't know, like,
No, this is not a... your crocodile is stationed on the ground. It can do nothing. I'm saying the benefit would be in having the crocodile farm, skinning the crocodiles, and then using their skin as our armor.
As unfortunate as it is, yes, I would agree with that. So farming crocodiles.
As horrible
We
as that
already
is.
did this in like the 20s, didn't we?
Yeah, but we weren't using it as armor. That was just... I think if we ethically farmed crocodiles...
I think that we can easily retrofit some type of fabric, like bulletproof vests, things like that. We don't need crocodile
Quite
skin for.
possibly.
I think that humans have adapted enough.
I might have been jumping the gun there. I was just thinking maybe if we can't all get, like... Is it Kevlar? What is the material that...
Kevlar?
Yeah.
Is it Kevlar vest?
We come across survivors as really idiotic. But we're actually quite smart. We just don't know how to verbalize very well.
Regardless, I think that humans have the materials around them to craft some type of protective wear. And traveling in a large herd will be beneficial as well. So if we have a herd of individuals dressed in protective wear, I think we have a good shot.
Do you think the element of disguise might work well in this scenario? And I ask that in terms of, like, do you think an individual could gather feathers and put them and wear those as a disguise to make the birds think that they are also of bird descent? Or could a group of 20 people gather enough feathers together to create a cover over themselves, and then they just walk underneath the cover that looks like an enormous phoenix?
I like the concept. In actuality, I don't know how realistic that would be, because if we looked at dinosaur social spheres, I'm sure that T-Rexes inevitably got into fights with other T-Rexes. Sure, they didn't really see each other as food. It wasn't a valid or viable food source, but they still got into territorial battles, I'm sure. So it's not necessarily saying, hey, that is a human. That is my source of food. No, it's saying, hey, that is a small fleshy creature, or that is a smaller creature than me. I can eat that.
That's a smaller bird
so I
than
think
I am.
if a human dressed up in feathers, inevitably birds would be like, let's get them, boys. It's another bird, but that's okay, because
if
again,
you had one solitary bird,
they're carnivorous.
Yeah, that's easy pickings for a pack of predatory birds. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so our primary moving forward with this would be adaptation, and thus the formation of either great herds of people or stragglers and loners on their own, burrowing deep.
I think that's the best
ground.
option is taking the ant approach, traveling in large groups, getting yourself an exoskeleton, whether that is biologically through evolution or just forming yourself one through what you can find around, living underground or at least living indoors. These are all going to be, I think, the best options. Is replicating ant society is going to be our best option, in my opinion.
Because I personally feel that this is one of those apocalypse scenarios that we cannot, as the human species, we cannot just wait this out.
I would agree. I don't know necessarily if we're waiting this out. I don't know if there's an end to this apocalypse, because there will always be more birds.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, if you look at it, there's always a different bird. We could totally cause the extinction of one bird. There are more birds to step in. Imagine just, oh, hey, we've taken out the ostriches. Oh, no, here come a flock of penguins. You know, it's like, what are we supposed to do in this circumstance?
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing. Raise an interesting point again. Nowhere is safe. The air isn't safe. The land isn't safe. The sea isn't safe.
So regardless, I don't think this is one. There are some apocalypses that we have discussed that I do believe we would have a chance to see an end to the apocalypse just by the natural order of things, but I don't think there's an end to this apocalypse.
No.
So I think this adaptation is us establishing a new way for humanity to just exist.
Exactly, because even if we go down the line of resist, there's only so much ammo in the world. We will never have the resources nor the manpower to fight back. We have to adapt. We have to adapt or die.
I would agree with that. Find your local human shelter and just join them. And I think that launches us into a great conversation that we can really focus on our social section.
Nice segue there, Tater. I like it.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, that was smooth.
But let's go ahead and find ourselves someone to survive with. Now, we are not talking about, yes, we are using dating apps, but we're not talking about dating. We're looking for someone with survival skills that can help us survive, whether that be man, woman, child, whoever can help us survive in this circumstance. We're looking for survival skills. That's all we're looking for.
We will make reference to appearance, but this is not about what they look like. This is all about the survivability.
All right. Her we will call Swan.
I was going to say Swan.
All right. So here we have Swan, 30 years old. Job is an HR manager. I don't know how helpful that would be in our well, actually, no.
Conflict resolution.
People management.
Conflict resolution in an apocalypse.
Conflict resolution and people management. Yeah. If our entire adaptation process is going to be surrounding large groups of people, heck yeah, she's well equipped to navigate
this
that.
Might be the leadership that we need in this scenario. So let's go ahead, because the first picture, it's outdoorsy, but it doesn't give us a lot to go on. So let us just move straight on.
She's wearing a dress hiking. Who does that?
I was trying to decide if that was a dress or whether it was like culottes or some kind of short skirt thing ensemble. It was hard to.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm
but
not going to judge.
Why would you wear a skirt to go hiking?
I am not judge. My only judgment on this would be ticks.
Okay, so the next picture, she's in a car. Ooh, I like her braids, but that's not
I'm
what we're focusing on here.
Those braids are those are
pretty.
Those are neat braids, I will say.
So the second picture doesn't tell us much. She's in a car. It doesn't give us much extra, but she feels most empowered when she rides her motorcycle. A motorcycle will not be a safe method of transportation in a bird apocalypse. I'm just going to say that right now.
Although wearing leathers and wearing a helmet.
Oh, she might be well equipped for gathering items to act as an exoskeleton.
Do you know what? She might even do well on her own. I'm thinking, rather than joining a group, she might be solo material. However, I'm pretty sure she's wanting to meet people for friendship and stuff. You know, she looks like an active kind of person. Yeah, I think she'd be more ready to
join a human group.
Yeah. So, yeah, you could send her out. You could send her out on hunter-gatherer expeditions, potentially. If she's feeling empowered, I want this woman to have a bow and arrow.
I mean, look at the next picture. It's her with, I assume, her partner, and they're out walking in that same dress ensemble again. But the next picture down, she's climbing rocks. She's a rock climber. Yeah,
this is an active person. This is a person who you could send out into the wilderness, and they are going to come back with something successfully, I reckon.
She's got some great skills.
And again, going on to the next picture. Isn't that the next picture? Yep, next picture, helmet. She's sorted.
But this is a bicycle.
Yeah, it's a bicycle helmet, but this is a person who is taking safety seriously.
She seems to have plenty of material to make protective wear of some kind. Now let's check over at her bio and description items.
Yes.
Oh, she speaks multiple languages.
Yep.
I'm just coffee, libraries, nature walks, local food judging. What is that?
Oh, so she goes to. I mean, I don't know. I'm only.
Does she go around and judge people's food, or what is local food judging?
I mean, we have I mean, I'm sure you guys do over there as well, but we have little country fairs and stuff where people will submit their vegetables that they've grown, or they've baked a cake that they've entered into the thing that people judge.
I mean, occasionally, but not enough to list it as an actual hobby. I think she's actually talking about, I go around to restaurants and I judge them.
Isn't that just a Yelp reviewer then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Spit on you.
But I don't think Yelp review is an option.
Games nights.
All right, game nights and reality TV.
No, reality TV trash talk.
She has... Oh, reality TV trash talk. Okay, so she's an individual with a lot of contrast. She seems to do a lot of outdoorsy things, but prefers indoorsy things, it looks like. Which would be good because our human ant society would need to be indoors and underground, so that would be beneficial for her.
Being in a group, you need to be able...
smoke.
Being in a group, you need to be able to talk to people about a variety of different things. She seems to have quite a broad spectrum of interests. I feel like there's not going to be many
Yeah.
people she can't talk to about something. The only thing
Absolutely.
she hasn't said on here is any like of sports, which doesn't matter to me. I don't like sports either, but that might be where the cutoff point is.
I don't see a lack of sports interest being a detriment in this
Mm.
society. I do think, yes, most of our activities will be indoors based, so some people will revert to indoor sports, but I think there's plenty of indoor activities that would keep her in the actual societal
Okay,
sway, I guess.
She
is the
also
word I'm
lists
looking
her
for.
interests as art, photography, gaming, foodie, and tea lover.
All right, so
This isn't the worst candidate we've ever seen.
no, I agree. I think that she would be a very viable candidate. Um, I think I'm going to withhold a decision on if she is the person that we're partnering up with for this apocalypse
Yes.
until we look at our next person. We don't do that often. Normally, we're able to say yes or no pretty quickly. She has enough benefits and enough vague gray areas that I'm gonna withhold making a decision on Swan right now.
At this moment in time, I'm inclined to give her the thumbs up. However, let's just see what else we have on offer. So, who was our other candidate for today?
Kiwi.
Kiwi?
Kiwi.
What does Kiwi look like? You sent me
Kiwi.
Kiwi. See, I was looking at this guy and thinking crow, but he's not that cool.
What's that bird that really likes itself in the mirror? I can't remember what it was. Peacock. Shall we? Is this peacock or is this
no?
Kiwi?
Let's keep with Kiwi. Kiwi is cute. I like that. Okay. Although I will say that's an interesting pose we're pulling in this first photo. Like, there's
I don't even know how to describe that for our listeners. It's like brandishing the forearm in front of your crotch. I don't really know how to explain it.
It's a mirror selfie, but there's a playfulness to where things are.
It's like the guy's being like, "Her, I'm a guy," but instead he's like, "Look how cute I am."
Oh, yeah.
So he's got the arm flex going in the mirror, but it's a look how cute.
But that's the thing. It's a flex, but it's camp.
It is.
And I love it.
It's kind of fun. All right. The next picture, he's in the same bathroom, but this is an actual selfie, not a mirror selfie.
It's a different t-shirt, so this is a different day.
It's a Spartan t-shirt. He does Spartan races.
Right, okay. We've also listed a lot of active interests here.
Canoeing, backpacking, camping, fishing, so classic outdoorsy guy. Active lifestyle. Lifestyle. I'm sorry, lifestyle. So this is someone who could do well in the woods. However, this apocalypse would not do well in the woods, if I'm being honest.
But again, we would need to think about someone going out to get resources. This again might be someone who's good at that sort of thing.
That is an excellent point.
Exercises every day.
But he's carrying a kiddo in the next one, so he clearly is social, I guess.
He got some kind of social, yeah.
Ooh, nice suit.
Family orientated, and this is a guy who's looking for a fresh start. So this is a guy who, if we got him now, this might be the community and the respect that he needs.
He's a military vet. He's a financial advisor. So he's a military vet who likes the outdoors but has a job indoors. Has a family but is looking to start new. This is a man of very contrasty nature as well. This is interesting.
This is interesting. We've picked two contrasting individuals.
I will say the military vet aspect is actually quite interesting in this apocalyptic scenario because he A, has his outdoorsy nature so he can go collect things, but B, he knows how to shoot pew-pews. So he knows his way around a pew-pew. He can battle back against birds as needed, I guess. He probably has access to some sort of military garb that is probably a little bit more durable than the standard outerwear. What do you think?
Quite possibly. Yeah. Potentially he still has some garb that he could potentially utilize during this apocalyptic scenario. However, I will say, when people say I'm a military vet, doesn't that mean they can have been anything from I completed basic training to I've done 10 years?
Yes, there are for America, which all of these
These are all
individuals are
American
from.
based.
They're all American. In the United States, yes, there are different lengths of contracts for military. If he's saying he's an actual veteran, it's likely he passed the original boot camp type
Mm.
training and was contracted for a certain period of time. Now, how long that contract was, I have no idea. There's no way of telling.
No.
And
Okay then. No, I
it
just wanted
doesn't
to
say anything
clarify
about
that.
combat vet, so I don't know if he saw any real
No.
combat. But regardless, he would have been instructed in different manners of weaponry.
Oh, entrepreneurial. I'm seeing here. I don't know if being an entrepreneur or a financial advisor is what we're looking for.
Any form of money, the financial system is going to be, the economy is just gone. Like, as soon as we have to descend into the anthills, it's all going to be about bartering. It's not going to be a
Yeah.
monetary based society anymore. But if he's a financial advisor, he does have to be schmoozy. He has to be able to convince people to trust him with their money. He has to be able to he
Absolutely.
has to be convincing, he has to be a talker, smooth talker. So he has some pros and he has his cons. I've never been this torn about two different possible partners for survival here.
I mean, to be fair, this is one of the few scenarios where I'm looking at someone and thinking, these people might, but both Swan and Kiwi might join our collective and then decide that they don't want to be a part of it.
I will say, and I know we don't talk about looks, but this isn't really about looks. This is about his smirk. All of his pictures, he's like smirking into the camera, kind of
It
like,
is that same
I'm
smirk,
better
yeah.
than you. Even his professional one in the suit,
Yeah.
he's like, huh, look at me, look how good I look. Like, look how awesome I am. Look how fancy I
Yeah,
am. Look
which
how
I'm not necessarily getting that same attitude from Swan.
Yeah, I think Swan is just a lot more organic and kind of open to trust, I think, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
do you know what? You're right, because Kiwi has that businessman smirk.
He
Of like,
does. It's a businessman
trust
smirk.
me. Trust me with your money.
Yeah, like I know you're gonna go for this deal. It's just you coming to that conclusion as well. You know, it's that kind
Yeah.
of persona that I'm like, ugh, no.
So now I have that in mind. This comes across as an untrustworthy individual for me.
I mean, like,
Because now
I'm
I'm like,
sure this individual has a lot of trustworthy character. I'm not talking about him as a person. I'm just talking in our
no.
apocalypse scenario. If I myself would feel comfortable with this individual in this apocalypse, and I don't think this is the apocalypse for him. I don't.
I think Swan is still 50-50 in my books, but she has better qualities, I think,
Yeah.
overall. I would offer the invite, I would offer the olive branch to Swan and say, "Hey, would you like to join us on
I'm
a wild
sure
adventure?"
I'm sure she can bring some positive qualities to our survival option. So congratulations, Swan. You'll be joining our survival party and attempting to help us
Yes.
survive. Which brings us to the question that we have to ask. Every apocalypse, would we survive? So given everything that we know and everything that we've discussed and our partner, everything that we've talked about, would we survive? And we usually do this on a scale of 1 to 10, right? So I
Yes.
think looking at the apocalyptic nature of it and how wary I am of birds as a whole anyways, I think
Yes.
the initial scramble would be a risk for me, but I think I would be okay surviving in an indoor based ant colony of human society. Um I don't like birds that much in the first place. I can admire a good bird, and I think some birds are really adorable on like TikTok, but I'm not completely attached to birds. So I think I would have a relatively high survival rate here. So I'm gonna give myself a 7 in this world. I think
Okay.
I'd still have some risk, and small birds still scare the crap out of me. So I do think I would have some failings in this apocalyptic scenario, but I do think I would have pretty good survival odds here.
Okay. See, I worry about my geological position here. Now, I'm not saying that I have to deal with cassowaries or ostriches or anything nearly that size unless certain species got themselves free from the local zoo. I think I'm generally okay in that regard. However, what I do worry about is annual migrations. We get an awful lot of influx of birds at certain times of the year. We're talking birds that are known to be aggressive anyway without a dinosauric brain. Like, geese are notoriously bad-tempered. Swans are just awful to people. And like I said, the great pigeon numbers, the great pigeon war of 2025 is still oncoming.
So there would be risks. What numeric value would you assign to all of this?
I don't give myself great odds in this scenario. I would give myself a good solid 6 in this, like just over the average because of my knowledge of dinosaurs. But I feel like I am at greater risk just geologically where I am.
Or geographically.
Yeah, geographically.
Right.
So I give myself a solid 6.
Let's kind of average ourselves between that. So let's go with, we're going to give ourselves as a whole, as a team, a 6.5 rating for this survival. What do you think?
I think 6.5 for the two of us, absolutely. But how do you feel humanity as a whole?
I think humanity as a whole, I think we have enough of humanity that we would survive. I think there would be death and devastation, sure, but I do think humans would survive. We've adapted to weird things in history. We've survived some very weird creatures in history. So I do think by nature, humans are just good at wiping out what they need to wipe out. And so I do think humanity would survive. As awful as it is, we are very good at finding a way to destroy what we need to destroy. And I do think that we would survive.
Life finds a way. That's my Jeff Goldblum for the day.
Yeah, we have to have our daily Jeff Goldblum. It sounds like humanity has a chance here. What do you think?
I think humanity has a good chance. Whether I individually have a good chance, I do not know. But yeah, humanity has a good chance of adapting and going along with this. Dear survivors, please let us know, how would you deal with this apocalyptic scenario, and where do you count yourself on the scale of dead or alive on this particular abomination of a future that we are yet to encounter.
And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. Congratulations, survivors. You will survive this one. Woo. Possibly. Be sure to like and subscribe. We have our podcast on all platforms that podcasts can be listed. We also are available on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and hit that like button as well if we can. We just really appreciate it. And give us your comments. We really like to hear from you. We like to hear what your ideas are for a possible apocalyptic world, or if you would survive the apocalyptic world we were discussing. We're going to go ahead and wrap up, but thanks for listening, and we hope to hear you next week.
Peace!